So on this episode of Tackle News, Abu Garcia Japan comes out with yet another Voltiq DC reel. So it looks like Abu Garcia Japan has been busy, but before I show you that reel, I'm going to show you something that I discovered when doing research for an upcoming video. And that is that Daiwa USA has raised the prices of a lot of their reels yet again, and some of these are to a ridiculous level. So of course we got to go to Tackle Warehouse, and we got to go to casting reels, go to Daiwa, and of course a lot of their reels are overpriced anyways. $750 for a STEEZ A, it's ridiculous. The new RYOGA round reels, $700 for the 150, $680 for the 100. I believe these are even more expensive than SHIMANO's CONQUEST. $800 STEEZ SV. Who is buying reels at this price? Of course, the new TATULA Elites, the long cast and the pitch flips come in at $300 when they used to be like $250 for the previous models. The Coastal 80, I believe it was a $249 reel when it came out a couple of years ago. Now they've bumped the price up to $300. I believe the prices on the Coastals all went up. The 150, I believe it was $279, now it's $320. The 200 is $330 now. I think it used to be $299. And here's one. The ancient Daiwa FUEGO CT, when it came out, I believe back in 2018, it was a $99 baitcaster. Now it is $150. I have a feeling the FUEGO CT is not going to be with us that much longer. Alright, so the Kage. I did a preview video on this a couple of years ago, and I think when it first came out it was either $239 or $249. Now you can see it's $300. I'm not sure the prices of the Lexus, I don't really pay attention to them. Surprisingly, the Mangetsu is still at $299. Another STEEZ SV for $800. The TATULA 100, I think the price went up 20 bucks. I believe it was a $179 reel. I believe the price of the 300 went up as well. Okay, but let's check these out. These are two reels that I actually own. First is the TATULA BF70. When this first came out a couple of years ago, I believe it was $239.99. And even at that price, it was too much. Now Daiwa, in their wisdom, has jacked the price up to $300 for a TATULA BF70. Who is going to pay $300 for that reel? Now, just for context, let's go up to SHIMANO's CURADO BFS, which is the BF70's main competitor. I know the prices went up on that reel, but not by $60. Okay, it's $234.99, so it's went up more than I thought. I thought it was like $209 or $220. We're looking at a $65 difference between the CURADO BFS versus the TATULA BF70, which is not as good a reel as the CURADO BFS. Alright, so TATULA SV100. When it first came out, it started out at either $219 or $229, I can't remember. But now it's gone up to $249.99. That makes it more expensive than its main competitor, the SHIMANO CURADO 150M, which in my opinion will dog it in pretty much every performance category, coming in at only $235. So the TATULA SV100 used to be cheaper than the CURADO 150M. Now it's more expensive. Just doesn't make any sense, but oh well. The SV150 TATULA also went up to $249.99. ZILLION, $450. I think that reel started out at like $350 or $380 when it first came out. But anyway, if for some reason you absolutely have to have a TATULA BF70 or a TATULA SV100, do this. Go to Digitaka and save yourself a ton of money. Let me show you what they cost in Japan. So yeah, they just introduced the TATULA BF in Japan this year for some reason, and they're only wanting $211.92. I believe there is 10% on top of that, and right now because of the oil situation there's a small shipping fee, but you're still coming out way cheaper than buying one in America. Then let's look at the SV100 TATULA, and over there they call it the SVTW. Make sure this is the right one. Yep. Got the camel toe frame, and $249 or $250 in America. You can get one for $167.21 from Japan. That is, about an $80 difference in price savings. And keep in mind, you're gonna have to pay sales tax on top of the $250 or the $299. So yeah, if you are wanting a Daiwa reel, I suggest you hop on over to Digitaka and see if they have the equivalent in Japan and save yourself a ton of money. But anyway, enough complaining about Daiwa. Time to show you guys the upcoming new Voltiq reel from Abu Garcia, Japan. So that means we're going to Pure Fishing, and it's not the Voltiq X REVO. We've seen plenty of videos on that, but it is this reel right here, the Roxani Voltiq. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Abu Garcia, Japan's lineup, the Roxani is actually positioned one stage lower than the REVO. It's one of their budget lineups. So we don't get a Xenon Voltiq, but we do get a Roxani Voltiq for now. But if you take a look at this reel, it is pretty much all black with some white or silver badging. I think it looks real good. Pretty sure the dial still glows in the dark after exposing it to light, but it looks like they're using the same asymmetrical frame as the REVOs, and they are positioning this as a shallow finesse model. As you can see, it says Roxani Bait Shallow 8, and I believe this is coming in an 8:1 or 8 gear ratio, which is not available in either of the REVO Voltiqs if you need it. Alright, let's read. It says the Roxani series featuring a carbon handle, dual looming gears, and a drag click sound. I can't remember if the REVO Voltiq X had a drag clicker. I don't think it did. No, it didn't, because the Bates has one and the REVO didn't in that comparison video. But anyway, that includes a Voltiq electronically controlled braking system. It boasts a brake pause system that maximizes casting distance by not applying brakes during the spool acceleration, and a wide range of brake settings that allow for confident casting of high air resistance lures even against headwinds. Despite its 30mm spool diameter, it offers line capacities of 8 pounds 100 meters, 12 pounds 70 meters, covering fishing within lines and general shallow area fishing. So it's keeping the 33mm spool of the REVO X Voltiq, but it's a little bit shallower. I believe with the REVO X Voltiq, it held like 85 meters of 12 pound, while this holds 15 less meters. Alright, so more about the patent. They keep saying it came out in the 90s, yet they never released it until now. Smelling some BS there, but you know, carbon fiber handle. Knobs are a little bit different. Drag clicker. More stuff about the braking. Waterproof. Voltiq sound, center brake dial, ergonomic design. The frame is going to be 6/6 carbon, as well as the side plates. So no metal frame. Carbon matrix drag and drag clicker. 33 millimeter spool. But there's no information on weight. 7+1 bearings. So yeah, gear ratio 8.1 to 1. Price 32,000 yen. Now that's really shocking because at 32,000 yen, the Roxani Voltiq costs the same as the REVO Voltiq SX, which has the metal frame. And it's actually more expensive than the REVO Voltiq X. But it says product release June of 2026, so it should be pretty soon if you're interested in getting one. But yeah, let me show you the price. So the Voltiq X is 25,000 yen. And the Voltiq SX is 32,000 yen. So the same price as the Roxani. So basically it looks like a REVO 5 with a different paint job, carbon fiber handle, drag clicker, shallow spool, and I wonder if it weighs less. 182 grams. To 15 grams. See, it weighs like an ounce less, it looks like, despite having, you know, the same frame material. So yeah, it's going to be lighter, have a couple of extra features that are desirable, like the drag clicker, carbon handle. But yeah, Roxani Voltiq coming out this month. Doubt it's going to be coming to America, as we are not familiar with the Roxani lineup, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did get released here, just to shake things up in the Abu Garcia America lineup, as they're clearancing out a lot of their xenon reels. So this gives me great hope that in the future we may get a xenon Voltiq, but I hope they improve the brake system, give us more settings and long castability if they do come out with one. Alright guys, thanks a lot.